expert classes.
I'm Garn McCown, mixologist, and I'm here with the Desire Company. Today we're going to be making our house old fashioned with Knob Creek rye, Scrappy's bitters. I'm also going to be using our Japanese mixing glass, Cocktail Kingdom ice pick, Carico Hawthorne strainer, mixing spoon, and then we will smoke our cocktail in our Fortessa Cocktail Smoking Cloche. Now that we have all of our ingredients ready to go, let's make a cocktail. We're going to be using 2 ounces of our Knob Creek rye whiskey. We're using the Knob Creek rye whiskey because it's 100 proof, and the high rye content of the mash bill will also lend to a spicier cocktail, which will yield itself against the sweetness of the syrup that we made earlier. We're going to use 2 dashes of our Scrappy's orange bitters. We're also going to be using Scrappy's chocolate bitters. No artificial ingredients at all, choosing the chocolate to balance out some of the spiciness of the rye itself. We're going to do 3 dashes of that. Our house-made syrup that we made earlier with citrus and orange. Equal parts sugar, water over heat, steeped with lemon and orange together. We're going to do 1/2 ounce of that using our Carico jigger. The lemon and orange citrus complement the spicy rye. We'll then add a little bit of ice. When we stir our cocktail, use the spoon around the edge of the glass. So if you just gently slide it around, don't feel bad if you don't get it the first time or the first 15 times. It took me about 20 or 30 times to get it down, and sometimes I still mess up, especially if you've had 2 or 3 cocktails, you might mess it up. Don't feel bad. You want to stir until you start to see a little bit of frost develop on the outside of the glass. You can kind of see that develop just a little bit now. Continue to stir. You can always change whichever bitters you like on your cocktail. Very classic is to use Angostura bitters, which use gentian root and has a little bit of spice to it as well. Because we're using a rye for our whiskey base for our old fashioned, we chose the orange and the chocolate to balance out some of that spiciness with a little bit of sweetness. Normally you would strain this over an ice cube in your glass, but today we'll be smoking our cocktail in the Fortessa cocktail cloche. So we're going to pour our cocktail here, place it inside the cocktail cloche. And now here's where the fun begins. We're lighting the applewood chips in the smoker. This is basically a fan that is pushing the smoke into the cocktail cloche. As you can see, we've got quite a bit of smoke today. Once it's filled with smoke, allow it to sit for 15, 20 seconds. And now we have a smoked cocktail. Pull our cocktail out. Don't forget to put an ice cube in your cocktail to keep it nice and chilled. To garnish your cocktail, I like to do a traditional orange peel. And just in case you didn't have enough smoke all ready for our cocktail, time for a little bit more magic. Now that we have our cocktail and all the smoke that goes with it, perfect. The nice citrus orange notes of the orange itself, plus the sweetness from the Scrappy's bitters, both chocolate and orange, fully balance out the spiciness of the rye. You get a little bit of viscosity on the tongue from the rye, having a little bit of oil content to it as well, so you get some of those fats that carry flavor. Never forget, in cooking and with certain spirits, the fat carries flavor. A little bit of that will come through. You will sometimes see haziness on cooler spirits if it's below 40 degrees or so. Some of those fats will show themselves inside the bottle, so if you ever see a cloudy bottle of bourbon, doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. In this case, it brings a lot of flavor, and all those fats and the high alcohol content of the rye carry the flavor into this cocktail. It also helps the spirit show through when you have all of this smoke. Cheers.